Eric Edholm has picked a player from all 32 NFL teams that he calls in the crosshairs, and these are players that are going to be heavily scrutinized headed into the 2012 season. We're talking about the AFC North now, and let's start with the Baltimore Ravens, who have a quarterback that says that he is the best in the NFL.
And I tried to pick as many non-quarterbacks as I could, but in this case, I had to go 3 out of 4 teams with a QB. And why not start with Joe FLACCO, the division-winning Ravens? You know, he came within a few throws, a couple that were dropped by his receivers, of getting to the Super Bowl. A Super Bowl that I think will help define him as a player. He believes he's an elite guy. You know, he said as much, and Eli Manning did the same thing last year. Eli went out and proved it, got his second ring. We'll see if Joe FLACCO can get us first. It's a contract season. They're still talking extension between the two sides, but FLACCO's got some proving to do, even though I like what he's done to this point in his career.
And in Pittsburgh, this is a team that sort of has been in the playoffs year after year, is always a Super Bowl contender, but now they're having a little bit of trouble getting their wide receivers signed.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting situation this offseason. Mike Wallace was a restricted free agent. You know, the rumors that teams were going to make a run for him. It didn't happen. They were lucky. They had to cut some players to keep him. But Wallace now has to prove that he is definitely that #1 guy. I mean, Antonio Bryant had the stronger second half of the season, and Wallace wants to be paid like a #1 wideout heading into next year, whether it's the Steelers or some other team in free agency.
Cincinnati, I think they might have been the biggest surprise team. One could argue that they were, and it's probably because they had one of the biggest surprise players in Andy Dalton, and you say he's in the crosshairs in 2012.
Very strong as a rookie. You know, I think he helped solidify things. 4-12 team the year before, made the playoffs at 9-7. And then he left some plays on the field, especially in that playoff loss at Houston. I think Dalton's got to prove some people wrong. He only had a QB rating in the low 80s, so this is a guy who with some talent at wide receiver and tight end. You know, they've got to be able to show that they can be a better passing offense in 2012 than they were last season.
And the Bengals were able to make that playoff jump because they had a phenomenal rookie quarterback last year. The Cleveland Browns are hoping they can have the same thing.
I thought you were going to say because they got to beat up on the Browns at the bottom of the division.
That helped.
That's also true, right? And, you know, just the early returns from camp is that Weeden's got some zip on his fastball. Colt McCoy certainly lacks that. It's only a matter of time, in my opinion, that Weeden becomes the starter. Look, Trent Richardson might be the marquee name, but Weeden has to play well, and there's going to be a ton of focus on him right from the start of this season.
It's a brand new look there in Cleveland. These are the players who are in the crosshairs in the AFC North. To see Eric's in the crosshairs players for all 8 divisions, check us out at ProFootballWeekly.com.